Today, I want us to explore something very simple yet very profound. A way of living that frees extraordinary energy within you. A way of seeing that is neither escaping into the future nor retreating into the past, but resting in the clarity of this very moment. To see what is here, as it is, without moving away, without leaning forward, without hesitation, without comparison. Most of our suffering, our confusion, our fear, comes from the mind's constant habit of leaving the present. It jumps into what may happen. It resurrects what happened yesterday. It builds scenarios, imagines outcomes, creates stories that drain our energy and fragment our attention. But there is a state where all this noise subsides, not by force, not by suppression, but by understanding the nature of awareness itself. When you begin to observe without moving, without resisting, without interpreting, something remarkable takes place. There is an immediate stillness, a pure attention. In that attention, energy is whole. It is not dissipated into worry, fear, anticipation, or memory. It is a total energy, capable of seeing clearly. Look at your own daily life. Notice how much energy is lost in imagining the next minute. What will they say? What will I do? What if this goes wrong? What if that happens? Or in replaying the last minute, why did I say that? What if I had done differently? Why did they treat me that way? This movement between what was and what may be is the root of mental exhaustion. It splits the mind into fragments, and in that fragmentation, clarity disappears. You cannot see a lake clearly if the surface is constantly shaken. In the same way, the mind cannot see truth if it is constantly disturbed by projection, fear, or memory. True seeing is not the result of effort. It is the result of being fully here, totally with what is happening now. Right now, as you listen, notice how the mind tries to move. Even in this moment, thought says, "Where is this going? How long is this video? What will be said next?" Or it may drift to something that happened earlier today. This movement is so subtle, so continuous, that most people never detect it. But the moment you see it, not fight it, not judge it, simply see it, something shifts. Awareness becomes sharper. Presence becomes stronger. Attention becomes whole. This wholeness is where real clarity lives. And clarity is not something you achieve. It is something that reveals itself the moment the mind stops scattering itself across time. When you do not run ahead into the next minute or fall behind into the last, you find a dimension of energy that is completely fresh, unconflicted, and alive. Think of the times when you have confronted a difficult situation, an argument, an uncertainty, a sudden change. Before the event, the mind spins stories. After the event, the mind replays them. But in the moment of direct experience, when you were fully there was no fear, no hesitation, no confusion. There was only action, only clarity, only presence. Because in the moment, energy is not fragmented. The mind becomes fragmented only in the movement away from now. Look at what your mind does when something uncomfortable appears. A thought, an emotion, a memory, a fear. Immediately, without your knowledge, the mind moves to escape. It imagines something else. It projects into the future. It turns the situation into a problem. It tries to control. That escape, that movement, dissipates energy. But if you stay with what is, just observe it. The energy that was once lost in movement becomes available as clarity. This is not discipline. This is not suppression. This is not positive thinking. This is pure observation. Observation without the observer. Seeing without labeling. Watching without trying to change. This is where the mind becomes extraordinarily quiet. Not because you forced it into silence, but because the movement that creates noise has ended. When there is no escape, there is no fear. When there is no projection, there is no confusion. When there is no anticipation, there is no conflict. In the absence of time-bound thinking, awareness becomes a light that reveals everything. And you begin to see. You begin to see yourself without distortion. You begin to see others without judgment. You begin to see life without the filter of fear or desire. There is a simplicity in this seeing, a tremendous simplicity. And in that simplicity, there is great intelligence. The intelligence I'm speaking about is not the intelligence of study or knowledge. It is not the intelligence of memory or experience. It is the intelligence of presence. The intelligence that arises when the mind is fully attentive. When attention is whole, action is right. Words are right. Choices are right. Because they come from clarity, not confusion. From now, not from fear or memory. Seeing clearly requires no effort except staying with what is. If you stay with your thought, just observe it without pushing it away or feeding it. The thought loses power. It comes, it goes, like a wave, and the awareness that sees it remains untouched. That awareness is your true intelligence. That awareness is where your full energy resides. To see clearly is to live without friction, without dissipation, without the mental chaos that comes from running through time. When the mind is not moving, it is powerful. When attention is not divided, it is whole. When energy is not scattered, clarity is effortless. So the question is not how to be present. The question is, can you look at what is happening right now without moving away from it? Can you look at anger as it rises? Can you watch fear without trying to escape? Can you see confusion without trying to fix it? Can you look at yourself without judgment? Can you remain with the fact, not the story, just the fact of what is here? When you do, something extraordinary happens. What you observe dissolves because it has been met by pure attention. And in that dissolution, energy that was once trapped becomes free. In this freedom, there is clarity. In this clarity, there is action. In this action, there is intelligence. And in that intelligence, you live. To see clearly is to be fully alive. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, now. This is the doorway to a completely different life. A life lived without division, without fear, without confusion. A life where energy is whole. A life where clarity is natural. And a life where awareness moves as one with everything around you. Stay with what is. You will see. Everything you seek is already here.